Morning, friends. I want to talk to you about something Cristian Sozo said to me the other day. He was telling me that he was praying and he was asking God for opportunities to serve. And he says, Lord, I don't know what to do, and I don't know where to go to serve. The church has a bunch of things to do. There's a bunch of nonprofit organizations that have some things to do. There's even some businesses you could volunteer at. And he was like, there's so many things out there. I don't know what to do. And so he's praying that, Lord, help me figure out what you want me to do. Well, he gets a phone call, and his friend calls him up and says, I'm moving and I was wondering if you could help me out. And isn't it interesting when we have opportunities to do things for others? In Christian's case, he was telling me the 1,000,001 excuses that it was going through his mind for him not to help. I've got things to do. I could better use my time or why do you wait to the last minute to ask me? And the excuses go on and on and on, and we all do it. And he said, well, I'll let you know tomorrow and see, because tomorrow's when he needed to help. And so he's praying about it and talking to God about it, and nothing. So he's reading his Bible, and the Bible says, well, if you need some wisdom, go get some godly counsel. So he's talking to a friend, and he was like, I've been asking God for so many things, and for opportunities to serve him and do things, and I've been praying about it and wondering what he's going to get me to do, and I'm getting nothing, And the friend was like, well, so-and-so's moving tomorrow. Why don't you go help them? That's an opportunity to serve God. And then the excuses start rolling again. Don't we do that? Excuses are rolling. It's like, no, and the excuses are going. That's not serving God. Serving God is, I got to be teaching. I got to be leading. I got to be doing this. Going to Africa to paint some huts, or going somewhere and fix something up. And it's interesting. I would pretty much say that on a weekly basis, we have opportunities come across our path that we don't recognize as opportunities for us to serve God. The friend calls you up to help. Hey, can you help me do this? And it may not be an all-day thing. It may be a 10 or 15-minute opportunity, but it means the world to them. And God says, I sent you that. It may be the opportunity to volunteer somewhere that's not in your comfort zone, but the opportunity comes. I also hear a lot of people asking, what's my gifting? What's my calling? And God sends opportunity after opportunity and after opportunity to find out if you're gifted and called in that area. Your family's child's team needs a coach, and you don't know if you're good at coaching or not. But are you going to coach? Or are you going to give it a shot because they've asked? They need help. You're not the head coach. You're like the assistant. Your church needs help in the nursery. Your church needs help in children's ministry. Your church needs help in this mission project. The nonprofit down the street needs help. Pastor gets up on a Sunday morning and lists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things where the church needs warm bodies to fill a position. And you're like, I don't know what I'm good at. Well, Cristian Sozo learned his lesson, because he tells me, he says, I've been asking for months. And I'm reflecting back on the opportunities. Well, the nonprofit down the street sends you the letter in the mail. Yes, they're trying to solicit money so that they can stay in business and do what they're called to do. But at the same time, at the very bottom, I just kept looking at it. We need volunteers on a Saturday once a month to do X, Y, and Z. The Habitat for Humanity, per se, sends out the same volunteer. I need volunteers to help build this person's home. The men's group at your church maybe says, we're going to go over to Sister So-and-so's and replace her roof. And we keep asking God, I want opportunities. So he went and helped this gentleman. Because it's hard to ask for help, isn't it? And when someone asks for help, maybe sometimes they're at the end of their rope and they don't know what they're going to do. And maybe that's when God really uses both of you to really bless each other. And Cristian told me, he says, it was a great blessing for the person that I helped, I'm sure. But it was even a greater blessing for him because he knew he was doing what God wanted him to do in a way that he wanted him to do it. And it even opened door in a small way to share some life lessons. But there was also a couple opportunities where it opened a door in a big way with some of the people that was helping to share the love of Christ with them in a way that you can't do in everyday conversation. In a way, there's no sense in saying this because it's already been done and over. So Cristian learned a lesson. When we're praying for opportunities to serve, maybe it's the little ways, maybe it's the big ways, maybe it's through an organization, but maybe God will send you a phone call or a text and say, I need help. Can you help me? Or maybe it's listening when people are talking and you can hear they need help. And they won't ask for whatever reason, and you just go, hey, if you need me, I'm here. But when we have that attitude and when we say, hey, if you need me, I'm here, it will be a sacrifice. And in a very minute way, the sacrifice that we make helps us realize and helps us relate just in a very small way the sacrifice Christ made for us. So what are you praying for this week? What sacrifices are you making? The old adage is, and I don't know if you guys in your area that you're watching this has this saying, be careful when you pray for patience because God will send trials in our way that will teach us patience. When you pray, are you expecting an answer? Are you doing like the old joke, the flood's happening and the guy's on the roof and he's like, Lord, save me. And he sends a boat. No, God's going to take care of me. Sends a helicopter. No, God's going to take care of me. Sends another way to get him. No, God's going to take care of me. And then he dies and goes to heaven and he asks God, why didn't you save me? And he said, I tried several times. I sent a boat, I sent a helicopter, and I sent several other ways, and you refused. When you pray, are you looking for a specific, only one way you're willing to accept the answer? Or are you letting God be God and letting Him send the answer that He needs answered? Maybe you are the answer. Thanks, friends. See you in a couple weeks or another week.